Hey everyone, it's Alison Heikkila. Thank you so much for joining me. We are making a Halloween card today. We are going to be using the Witchin Heels die set from Spellbinders. And with that, we are going to use the We Fly stencil from A Colorful Life Designs. So you can see that there's a few different sentiments here. You've got the broom, and then you also have the mask of the broom. That's why it's in this plastic, so that the mask will stay with the rest of the stencil. So that's what we're going to do. I had already die cut and inked her up a bit. I used a purple mulberry paper for her heels and her hat, and I used Lost Shadow Distress Oxide to kind of swipe some color or highlight onto the witch a bit, because I was originally planning on using this background. But she's getting a little lost to me, and I think I want to save this for something else. So we're going to do a different moon background. This was done with fireworks sprays. There's actually a video for it. I will try to remember to link it below. But I decided this time we're going to use Distress ink. So she's going to still be in that same orientation I just had her, but we're going to be using these ink colors here instead. So I have some repositionable adhesive. This is really old. In fact, it's not really sticking very well anymore. And then I've got this Mylar circle. If you have a circle stencil, that will work too. You can cut out a piece of cardstock. I just happen to have a bunch of shapes in this like thick plastic, and it works out perfectly. That's what I used for this moon here. So now that I've got that positioned, let's just double check. And this is, like I said, repositionable adhesive, so you can kind of see that it's there, but we can just rub that off when we're done. Yeah, I think that looks good. So my plan is, hey guys, I actually have a plan today. I'm going to put the come up here and then the We Fly down here. With what yet? I don't know, but we'll see. But I think that she looks pretty good where she is. So that's all I did with her. I'm going to set her off to the side, and we're going to start with this background. So I have Twisted Citron, which I really need to get full size because it's one of my favorites. Peacock feathers, prize ribbon, and black soot. We'll start with the Twisted Citron. What would be ideal, I think, is the Uncharted Mariner. But guys, I still don't have that one. I say it so often. I really need to get that one. But someday. Someday. For now, we're just going to apply this. I am working on smooth Bristol cardstock from Strathmore. And we're just going around with a blending brush. These are from the Rabbit Hole Designs. I like them because they are white bristles, so you can really see the color that you're working with. The handles are white. Scrapbook.com also has really nice white brushes that I have. It's just that these happen to already be in use for these colors, so we're just going to keep going with that. Okay. We might wind up pulling an additional stencil into this. We'll see what happens. There is a bit of other green on here. You can see it's not really a pure Twisted Citron, but that's totally fine. I don't mind it at all. Okay, that looks good. And now we're going to move on to Peacock feathers. Really like Twisted Citron for around a moon. I think it looks really cool. Gives it kind of a creepy look. Moved a little bit, that's okay. I'll wind up going back with the Twisted Citron again. I might not be able to even use this. It's not really sticking so well. I've used Scotch tape in the past, but it's not really the best option either. I think we're better now. Okay. And I'm not getting a perfect blend right now. That's okay. We're going to be adding more colors. Don't forget, she's going to take up a lot of the space. So this doesn't have to be totally perfect. Good. And a little bit more of the peacock feathers, I think. just kind of working that color in. And now we're going to jump to the prize ribbon. This is a color, oh, sorry about that. I don't use this one all that often, but I think it's going to work well for this sky. I was thinking about using chipped sapphire, but I use that one a lot, so I wanted to use something different this time. Might add some peacock feathers over here in the corner. And I'm making my nails a fabulous shade of green. See, because this is not as dark as the other panel I showed you, I think that this is going to work out better. I just think she was just blending in too much with that other panel, and I want her to stand out. We're losing the peacock feathers, so we're going to go back into that. This is what happens when you blend. You kind of have to go back and forth quite a bit to make sure that your colors are seamless if you want them to be, but you want to make sure that they have enough presence. See, this is looking better. And I do want to add a little bit up here. Not too much, just a bit. That's better. Okay, then we're going to go in with black soot. And the moon here is a good landing spot for my fingers so that I don't get fingerprints all over the place, because that could happen. Some people use tape. They wrap their fingers with tape. I don't do that too often. Sometimes I'll use a piece of scrap paper. Try different things. See what works for you. Since this is here, it's pretty perfect for what we're doing. That's looking okay. Back to the prize ribbon. I think we need a little bit more black soot. This is one of those times I wish I had a Lazy Susan. Have you seen the one from We Are Memory Keepers? That one's really nice. I've seen Ardith use it in her videos. If you don't follow Ardith, you should. She's really good. Back to prize ribbon. And she uses the We Are Lazy Susan. My friend Amy from Amy's Wares, she uses one from, I think, Wilton, from her cake decorating days, and she put, I guess it's one of those waffle flower mats on it to hold her pieces in place, which is very cool, but I don't have that either, so that's another thing on my list. Getting some type of Lazy Susan to help with this type of process when we're spinning things around and all of that. Okay, what do we think, guys? I think that looks pretty cool. Okay, let's peel this off and really get a good look. I think that's nice. And look at how much better she stands out now. See, here's my original. See, she just blends in, and I don't like that. So this is much better. This is great. Okay. So now what we need to do is decide, well, first I'm going to rub off the excess glue that's here. And now I have another stencil. This is called Moon Man. This is also from Colorful Life Designs. Just came out this month as well. We need to decide, I feel like he's gonna look really cool in here, right? He could be watching her flying by. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Okay, I need a gray. All right, I grabbed Pumice Stone. I have Lost Shadow too, but I think that that's too cool of a gray. I want a warmer gray, which is why I chose this one. But before we put him on there, I really want to get this kind of watery effect that's happening. So what we're gonna do, don't freak out, guys. We're gonna take some water and we're gonna spritz this. Just carefully. I'm gonna I'm not gonna freak out, right? Let's take our own advice, Al. All right, we're gonna just do it. Look at that. See? See? Look. See? Oh, that makes it so much better. Right? So much better. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open this up and just splatter the background with the water. See, we couldn't put the moon face in first because then he would have bled all over. So by doing this part first, we can dry it down with our heat tool unless we feel like waiting, but you know, I don't. And we have this really cool effect, and we'll put him on top and it's gonna look rad. Okay, I'm gonna use my heat tool for a moment just to start to dry this. And then I'm going to pick up some of this color. I've got a paper towel here. I don't want to touch the moon because I don't want to pick any of that up. I like what's happening there. But I'm going to pick up some of this excess color just to lighten it up. So while the moon is drying, I'm going to grab something else. I have white Brilliance ink, excuse me, it's Moonlight white, so it's very appropriate. A small acrylic block and a brush. And I'm going to apply some of this. This is the Reinker for the Moonlight white pad. Add some water to that. And now we're going to make some more stars. Just flicking this off the side. A little bit more water. And you have a really cool starry effect. Oh, that's a big drop. We got to get rid of that. Okay, that's fine. No big deal. All right, so that's what I used on this too, to get the stars. This looks good. We're gonna clean this up and then continue on. Here's our finished panel, which I think looks really good. I love that green glow. And then here is our moon man. We're going to grab the pumice stone. And I'm using the same brush that has the black soot on it. It's okay. I'm just going to go kind of lightly. I don't want him to be too dark. I probably should have switched brushes, but it's fine. Oh, look how cool he looks. That's cool. Okay. Very good. Now we have our witch. And she's going to be flying past him. And I don't mind that she's in front of him a bit. That's fine. Oh, look, the broom can hide this blob we have, which is good because I don't care for that. Okay, so let's get this stencil out. Just the stencil. We don't need the broom. And if I could stop being spastic. There we go. Okay. So we're going to do the come up here and the we fly down here. I think I want to use white embossing powder. So while I'm pretty sure that this is dry because I did use my heat tool, I am going to apply some of my anti-static powder tool here just to make sure that I don't get more powder than more embossing powder than I need. Okay. I also have my VersaMark ink and a sponge dauber that I put washi tape on that I use only for VersaMark ink. I don't want to use this ink with other ink pads because this is a sticky ink and I don't want to get that in my other pads. So, okay. Easy to put this back in place because we're hiding this blob. And we are going to put the come up here. And what I'm going to do is I've got a piece of washi tape just to kind of hide the next line down so that I don't accidentally, well, that's not sticking, I use that a bit too much. Just so that I don't accidentally get this onto her. Okay, so that's not sticking either. That's okay. We don't really need it. I'm gonna just push this down. Can you see that? Let me zoom in. How's that? Better? I think so. Okay. Pushing this down. Make sure I get good coverage. And we're going to heat emboss this before we move on to the next part. So you can see. Can you see that? See how it's shiny? Okay, let me remove this Scotch tape, which is doing absolutely nothing. Close this up, and I need to grab a scrap piece of paper. Okay, and I've got some detail white embossing powder. This happens to be from Spellbinders. Use what you have. See? Okay, we're going to heat set that. I'm going to dump this back in first. Grab my heat tool. You're going to hear the sound. Let this get warmed up. Perfect. Nice, white, shiny goodness. And now we are going to do the second part. So let's get her back. Right over that blob. I'm going to clean this off first. It should be fine. I've got some isopropyl alcohol here. That's what I like to use on my stencils or anything really. Once I use VersaMark, I just spritz it with isopropyl alcohol. And then it comes right off because it's sticky. You know, your regular cleaners don't necessarily do the job on something sticky like that. So that's what I like to use. Okay, so she's hanging out here. Kind of want to tilt her more. Yeah, okay. Want to make sure that we don't get her dress. That looks pretty good. Stick this back here, which may or may not stay. And now we're going to go back in with the dauber and just pounce it. You want to be careful that you don't rub with certain letters like the M. You don't want to flick this up accidentally. These are pretty static. They're not going to go anywhere. But you just want to be careful. The W could lift up here, so pouncing is definitely a good way to go. Okay. Oop. She is flying. All right. Can you see that? There it is. We fly. Okay. Close this up. Round 2 of the embossing. I could have done it all at once, but I didn't want the stencil to overlap where the VersaMark was and then accidentally mess it up. So that's why we're doing it separately. But if you feel confident enough to do it all in one go, by all means, do it all in one go. Okay. Heat tool again, turning that on. Perfect. Loving this. Okay. I love the touches of purple on her. I think that's really fun. Okay. I am going to glue her down with my Barely Arts glue, and then we'll grab our card base and continue on. Okay, she should be dry. We have our card base here. I have to say, the white isn't terrible in this case. What do you guys think? We might... Can I do it? I don't know. I don't think so. I think we're going to go with Black Soot. Normally, I use VersaFine Clair and Nocturne, but because this black isn't as dark in this particular scenario, I don't think I want to go with Nocturne. So I think we're going to go with Black Soot. Yeah, I mean, it's fine with the white, but I just can't do it. Can't do it. Okay, we're going to just do one of these. You could do some more ink blending if you want to. But I don't want it to be perfect. I want it to have some of the card showing through. think it's better this way. In this case. Not always. Let's see how that looks. Now I'm going to grab this piece of white paper that we used for our embossing powder just so that you could see it a little bit better. Yeah, see, I like how you can see some of that edging happening. Yeah, I like that. That's better. Okay. That's what we're going with, guys. You could have left it white if you want to. You could have used one of the other colors of distress ink that we used today. But I think the black is a good choice. Okay. I think that's really cool. Come, we fly. Love it. Hope you guys like it too. Again, I'm going to try to remember to post the video that shows how I made this background, but this is just another fun option depending on what kind of tools you have. But this is a really great Halloween card. Although, you know what? I'd send this to some of my friends all year. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I will be back very soon with another. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Be well, stay safe. Peace out.